perfect team. You're my dream, and I just want it. Can't get to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself, to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself, to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself, to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself. Oh baby, if you ever need a helper, hey, you should know that I'll be there day and night. Nobody else can love you better. I'm here just to treat you right. You're the reason I'm alive. You're the only pain I can endure. And when you're not here, you're my dream, but I just want it. Yeah, I just wanna. Yeah, you're my dream, but I just want it. Can't get to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself, to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself, to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself, to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself, but I just want it.
Deep inside I knew from the start, you my bunny, I'm your Clark. From now to eternity I give you all my heart. We are meant to be, it's clear to see. My love is bigger than I thought. I got everything I want when I hold you with my arms. Now this don't matter, my love and my pleasure, the key to my treasure. Whatever's the weather, day up and out with you till I die. How many times for you I'ma try? Want you to notice the one and I know this perfect soulmate. I wanna show it my best friend. She saved my life, my happy end in hard times.
Oh baby, hug it to myself, hug it to myself, hug it to myself. I just want it. Can't get to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself, to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself. I just want it. Can't get to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself, to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself. Oh baby,
Hello and welcome, Rocket League and Overwatch fans. We are here live with the CENC Midwest Invitational Showcase. I'm FBI Tugboat. Along with me is going to be my man Clutch Key. We got Colton down there and producing away and helping us out over there on producer's desk. We got my man, excuse me, we got my man Scoots over there helping us out as well. Clutch, you with me?
Yeah, and it's going to be an exciting day. I mean, it is the CENC Midwest Invitational Showcase here. We're going to have a high school showcase for you to start. Concord Rocket League taking on Snider Rocket League here, and both teams, again, this is showcase. They had their combine earlier on. So now we just get to see them in the showcase, show them what show us what they've got here in a best of 5 situation. So it's going to be a great time, and you know, I'm pretty excited for this. I'm hoping now somebody pulls out maybe the James Bond card, because I saw that as an event earlier on. So I'm hoping somebody pulls out the 007 card. Just saying, but as it is a showcase event, so we can have some fun. But
Exactly.
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how these two teams stack up against each other. And like you said, later on too, we're having some Overwatch, and that'll be a great matchup to watch. One of the teams is actually playing in the CNC, or actually all of these teams are playing in the CNC, but one thing right now is actually one of these teams playing right now in their invitational match. So this should be interesting to see later on.
Yeah, so again, just kind of putting on a literal showcase of what can happen between these teams. We got Snider taking on Bethel University a little bit later, but again, that'll be Overwatch. That'll be best of 3 fashion. A little best of 5 action right up here at the top. Standard rules, Champions Field, 5 minutes, first to 3. If it's tied at the end of that, we go to a sudden death over time. And there's no ties in the great game of Rocket League. Yeah, so this is a true best of 5, not a first to 3 points, because like in Overwatch, of course, you can't get your ties. So
the only place you can get the draw, the only places you can get the draw is probably Assault and Hybrid. So I mean, Rocket League is if you're tied, it is endless sudden death. It is endless first goal scores. So
yes.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen games before go like 20 minutes. I think it was like at one point that has still was a tie at one point. So. I think that's the longest game I've seen. I think that's the longest game I've seen at the very least. So
a double-digit minutes is definitely one that I've seen. Obviously, and of course after that 5 initial minutes. But yeah, getting on to this one in a minute. Yeah, go ahead and give a shout out to our neighbors to the north. Right, happy Canadian Thanksgiving. I found out this morning that was a thing. I did not know that it was a separate celebration. So shout out to our friends from the Great White North.
You know,
we got players. Go ahead.
No, and they got to celebrate it a whole earlier too, so this will be interesting.
Right.
Yeah. So Concord versus Snider again, best of 5 here, as it's already a kickoff goal from Snider. Interesting enough that they get it right away. Nobody really covering goal from the very start. They just go right for the kickoff. Looks like somebody misses. I think that's Cryptic on the side of Concord that misses. And yeah, a very fast goal for them. So it's already 1-0 on the board for the team in orange.
Yeah, not going to have a faster goal than that one, Clutch Key. Not faster than 1 second. Nas to Classy, almost putting up a second one right there, too.
Almost putting up a second one. We'll drive up to the corner, see if we can get it, but that one's cleared out already by Cryptic again. And they're just going to try to clear this one out. Cryptic, teammates bump into each other, almost having a shot. If they'd let that one go any further, that might have been a goal for the equalizer for Concord, but they're not going to be able to get it. Evade my taxes. Evade my taxes. Not something we suggest, ladies and gentlemen, but tries to at least not evade the ball at the very least. They'll move it up to the middle. Cryptic's going to fly for this one inside the mid. Should be easily savable here by Snider, but he pushes it in. And evade my taxes does not evade the goal. We're tied up at 1.
Yeah, so the defense right here, kind of pausing up a little bit, right? Nas trying to get over to the left side. Croth V2 coming over on the right, and then kind of colliding there in the middle. But you know, Clutch Key, I feel like this evade my taxes name is a little bit of a flex on this, right? Because these are high school students, and they must know that we know this, right? So like they must know that we know that that's not an issue for them. Or at least not yet, right?
Not yet, but I think
like that's been put in my face a little bit, you know.
I feel like after high school, or maybe when they go individual, you know, and if that name still exists, there might be a little bit of a problem when they look at their names. But tied up at 1 apiece, into the corner they'll go, and misses on the fly now. So it goes back on the orange side. Cryptic will try to bring this one up from the corner, but it's demoed right away. Possession back inside of the orange. We'll take it back out to the corner, a little bit of a bounce, but slightly washed is there to take it out. Shot on goal from the side, and Naz puts it back in to put Snider back into the lead, 2-1. 3 goals in the span of 90 seconds, so we got a very fast-paced game here, folks.
Yeah, decently fast-paced so far. This has come off the back of loading the box, but with 2 offenders. When there's a solo defender back, whenever there's been 2 defenders back, this has just been a showcase of kind of what one individual offensive player can do, especially up in the air. And then just an aerial, like just a rush to the races at that point. Whoever can get there first has nailed these shots in so far longer range, and Crow's going to put up his first shot from midfield here, Clutchkey.
Yeah, a great midfield shot, just past midfield actually. Getting it from the orange to the blue goal, but they've got it in 3-1 now for Snider. So, what would you say about Concord's rotations here? Because it's looking like Snider's got them on check right now.
Yeah, both of these teams have dumped everything into offense so far, whether that's actual players up in the box allowing pressure, or it's just having no defender back rotated. Because right now, yeah, Nas Classic can put this up a little bit lower, and Cryptic has to stretch and burn everything in the tank just to get there and just get a very weak touch. Now, that was the second touch that was better than the first. That's the only reason why Concord is on the defense right now.
So they're going to have to make up 2 goals here to try to bring this one back here. But again, the orange is back in control, and there goes one over that defender. Crisis Clone with another goal for this team in orange here. Snider just showing off right now. 4-1. Again, gets it right over him. Hits it hits it any later, and that thing is blocked, tipped, or wherever it may go. But great play by Snider. They're 4-1 now the score, and we're not even halfway through. Still 2 minutes and 47 seconds on this clock. Here comes Croth. Everybody upstairs, but will not find the goal. Is demoed those 2v3 situation for a little while. Chris Clone trying to spin his way in, not going to find it. It's just a little bit of a mind game. Or see if they can get the double bounce off the wall. The shot is up, and Naz, great teamwork here from Snider. 2 bounces off the wall here. First 2, I believe, comes from Naz. That one bounces off the wall, another bounce, and this just leaves Naz wide open for the bounce shot into the goal.
Yeah, Croth just coming in from the top, flying down, hitting this one with a solid hit against this left back side, and then putting it up perfectly for teammates. Just about passes into points. We've seen that so far. No reason for Snider to slow down that one yet. That is almost a perfect pass, but Evade My Taxes gets in front. In the middle of that, little double commit action, and Evade My Taxes does get a demo, but not going to be enough for this offense to keep this one up permanently, especially when they only burn about 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Yeah, and each advantage they would have gotten from a demo right there was Burn was just playing with this ball a little bit too much in their side of the field.
So, I mean, they still got about 2 minutes left, but 4 goals is a very big amount, especially the way that Concord's playing. I think if we were to look at possession time right now, or rather how much time that ball is spent on the blue side of the field, it's going to be a big amount of time as compared on the side of the orange as of right now. Starting off with that very first goal. There's a long shot that's going to get saved early on, and Cryptic's just going to bring this one out. 3 people on that side, so maybe they take advantage of it. No, Croth is going to bring it back to the wall, see if we can get a little bit of a flying ceiling shot here. Tries to get the flip reset, will not get it, but... And now bouncing it off the wall here, and they're just going to bring this one out now. But again, you see the rotation working out so well for the orange and pressure right now. Snider's going to be able to bring this one up. Croth upstairs, and it hits in. Great goal from Naz, huge, and 6-1 now the score with 1:09 left.
You can literally just see Naz kind of like circling, rotating right here, and just, cue the Jaws music, right, Clutch?
Yeah.
Just simply waiting for an opening. They put enough of these balls up against backboard. Eventually, there's going to be a double commit like that on the defense. Offense to be able to take advantage of it. As it is, 6-1 scoreline. Pretty impressive so far.
Pretty impressive right now. They could make this 7-1. They bring it out to the corner now, but Evade My Taxes will take that out of the corner. Another bounce. This will come out just over it for their try. Now, Croth will try to bring it upstairs, and it's back onto the blue side. Naz will try for the shot. Saved by Cryptic. And again, they could make this a 7-1 here, but they try to bring it downfield. Ball is on the orange side now. Naz is probably going to bring this one out, hits it off the ceiling, and we're back onto the blue side for the ball, but not before Cryptic able to bring it on their side. Evade My Taxes could shoot, but they are there for the defense. So again, ball back on the blue side. Not a lot of time on this orange side that this ball is spent on. But right now, as it stands, now Cryptic's going to try to bring this one home. Score a second one for them. Good save by Krauf. And again, this orange team, just good defense and great offense at the same time.
Growth? I was taking it like growth with a
Crow.
K.
Yeah.
I realized I said crow at one point, like the bird, but alrighty, we got a little bit update for you guys as well. Guess what? We're getting even more Rocket League after this. EMP Live Designs definitely does provide. This was a warm-up match right here. Snider is not up 6-1 in the first game. That was a warm-up. We're going to be playing the first game of this best of 5 here in just a minute. There was, we'll call it a request for some practice before we actually get to the real games. How about that, Clutchkey? Is that how you spin it here, right?
Yeah. I would say that. And I mean, if you're gonna say anything for good practice, that's good practice for the orange team there, because I mean they had themselves 6 goals, could have been 7, but great saves there from Cryptic towards the end. But I mean, overall, just it's a great one. So yes, we will reset here in a little while. Both of these teams just getting set up one more time. They just requested a little bit of a practice match, as you said. So this will be
exactly.
so this will be a great way for our other team to just reset. For both teams to reset, just kind of get into the groove of things, and we'll be ready to go in just a little while. So for everything going on right now, again, for those of you that just joined us here, we have Concord taking on Snider here in Rocket League, and again, we're still at 0 apiece, even though you did see one match, just a practice round as a warm up for for both them and kind of for us as well here on the production side as well. But we take a look at it, and after we're done here in a little while, we'll see Snider Overwatch taking on Bethel Overwatch. So if you like the Overwatch action as well, stick around, and we got that showcase for you here at the CNC Midwest Invitational Showcase. Tugboat, while we are getting set for the match number 1, as we should say, what did you like about both teams there?
I liked that Snider was able to coordinate on offensive pushes, but again, this was a practice, and it was a little bit of a higher ping for everybody, so I can imagine that what we'll be seeing coming up is going to be a little bit different from what we saw there in the practice. So barring the fact that I have not a whole lot to go off of right there, I want to switch this conversation up a little bit. Like we were saying, so it's Canadian Thanksgiving as of right now. You are from Hawaii, correct?
Yep. So not part of Canada. So it's.
No, I know that one. I know. Are there any Hawaiian holidays that you guys celebrate that we may not have heard?
There's a lot of state holidays. I think it's different holidays like Statehood Day, I think is one of them, and then just there's a lot of different like Prince days that I keep forgetting, like Prince Kukio days here. So there's different state holidays that I think a lot of people don't celebrate, or I'm sure that the other 49 states don't share. But hey, extra days off of work is fine. And speaking of work, Naz puts them first on the board. Snider is up 1-0 already, 4 minutes to 37. So not the fast goal that we saw in our practice round, but it's already a good start for them.
Yeah, not a bad start by any means. Snider kind of showed off there in the practice rounds, and perhaps that was just a ploy, from Concord. They just want to put their worst foot forward in the practice to thereby show this team that they don't actually have. I don't know. Chris is Clone getting the second one right here. That's his first shot attempt and his first goal made in 30 seconds or so, 32 seconds. And after the second one, this is looking a lot more like the first.
Yeah, and it's already 2-0 already. I mean, they would have tied this up at 1-1 if you were watching the practice match earlier. It was 1-1. The scoreline before it got to 2 for Snider, but now they're already up 2-0. 4 minutes and 25. Evade My Taxes will fly up, misses that one, but slightly washed is going to be able to take it. Now it's on a demo. That's actually first demo of this match, but third demo overall for their teams. So and they have not taken advantage of that so far. But now from the upstairs, Evade My Taxes will take that save. Oh, and a little bit of a bump from his own teammate. This could be the run that Concord wants, but is not going to be able to get it, although that ball is left kind of in the open. And now Orange will take this back. Snider able to run this up the wall, trying to see if he can get the aerial touches, looking for another flip, and will not get it off the wall. Almost there, though. That looked really good to start.
Yeah, it was definitely dangerous if you're a fan or member of Concord right there. Wasn't able to get the last tiny little bit of angle, and more so put this across the top, just kind of hanging out right there, saying what's up to the goal. It'll meet you there later. Concord on the defense right here, like they've been a lot of the times. Every time they try and take it out towards Snider, just gets stopped in about half pitch right there.
And it's not, again, if there was a stat here for amount of time on the other side, I could bank on the fact that this ball has been on the blue side way more than it has for the orange so far. But slightly washed will go upstairs, kind of hits him in the air, doesn't hit the ball though, so that's where I believe Crisis Clone will take up the action. Hits it all the way across, actually. Good stop there from the blue so far, but now we'll try to get up. Growth will try to get this in. Evade My Taxes with a good save to stop this out, but the pressure does not stop. Crisis Clone there, brings it back out, and they will have the bounce shot on the wall. Evade My Taxes, another good save. Growth is there to try and hit this ball from the downstairs area, and a big aerial shot there, 3-0. Hits it on the top of his car, I believe, when he just flips on over, just freestyling that all the way around, and yeah, just bounces that one in.
Yeah, perfect stuff right here. I think Kraus kind of realized that Concord had at least the short defense. They were able to pay attention to where players were, but after, whether or not that was a true or real kind of like a reposition or a fake, coming back to just have done exactly what he did, pick up a little bit of boost, and then come flying, screaming across the middle. One way or another, it paid off. Snider's up now 3-0 with, like you said earlier, a lot of time of possession so far going the way of this Snider squad.
Yeah, and so, again, Snider's been just keeping the pressure on here, and they will keep the pressure on. Crisis Clone gets the 4th goal for Snider, and again, 2 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. I mean, Concord's just got no answer for them right now.
It's a fair evaluation so far. Taking a look at the numbers. The numbers do always tell a tale. 12 total shots for the members of Snider. No shots even attempted for the members of Concord. Like you said earlier, time of possession would be a fantastic stat to have, and I can guarantee you that is going the way of Snider as of right now. There's the 5th. Nas to Classy's 4th shot on 2nd shot made in, 50% completion ratio for that player. Fantastic showing so far inside of Snider. If anything, that practice really just kind of helped the team that was doing better in that practice. Is that not correct?
Yeah, I mean, 6 goals from the very first, from the first practice match, I should say. 6 goals earlier on, but now they've got 2 minutes left, and they already have 5. So they're just keeping the pressure on here for Concord. Concord's doing all they can to try to stop this, but there's just no answer to what they're doing right now. And like they did score a goal. Remember, they scored a goal early on in the practice. There's a demo early on, but they won't be able to take advantage of it. Already spawns back. Crisis Clone there, trying to lift this one up. Won't get the hit on the aerial. Just bumped away, and now they'll just bring this one back out to reset. Back out to the corner now. Growth will take this one up. Can he hit it before it gets there? It will not. And so, again, pressure still on this blue side of the field. They're just trying to get this out, but Orange having no luck. Snider with the shot there from Crisis Clone will not get it, and ball crosses the line here. We'll get back into the blue side, but right back onto the orange side. It's Growth who tries the area, but good block from Cryptic. And this is basically Concord's best chance to score right now.
Yeah, that was some solid performances from the side of Concord to stop these passes midfield. That's something I want to see, but on a closer defensive side, really. It just simply getting up and kind of disrupting these plays. You know, they show that they can do it earlier, but when they kind of sit still and allow Snider to sit back and just kind of pick their shots about where they're going to come in at this, there's never going to be an advantage that a defensive team will gain from that play. Just like this, another one Go ahead.
No, sorry, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah, I mean, you can see the pressure. Crisis Clone getting another goal here, and so again, you can see the pressure that Snider's putting on. They matched their practice total right now, 6. Concord's 1 short of their practice total right now, but 46 seconds left to go here, and it looks like Snider is going to be able to cap one off, almost a kickoff goal from the very beginning, but really nobody there. I mean, you saw that aerial camera where nobody was there from the goal, so had that gone in, I mean, you had nobody covering it already with 35 seconds left to go. And Naz is just going to try to fly this one out. Cryptic will take it back out, but again, the rotations here, Snider's just so fast on the draw to get where the ball is going to be, and they're just providing so much. It seems like, I mean, this don't get us wrong, the arena's a big space, but right now it seems like Snider's painting all over it.
Yeah, it is a Champs Field, a large place. Got your, like you said, you got your No Time to Die 007 billboards out there.
There you go. Yeah.
Rocket League continuing to kill the game when it comes to third party, not aftermarket. What's the phrase? Like partnerships with other
partnerships. Yeah,
partnerships with other media sources, right? You had the Stranger Things last year. Pretty much about this time as well, the spooky season.
Yeah.
You had, I mean, I could sit here and we don't have enough time for me to sit here and list all the partnerships all the way through, and that's just with like other entertainment and stuff like that, right? Yeah, much less even considering like the Ford partnership and whatnot. Like one of the oldest car companies in the country. It's just wild to think about. It's awesome to think about, honestly.
Yeah, and the different partnerships too. I mean, you have like the different sports runs, right? You had the NFL come in. I mean, they had that great football game as well they had at one point. Yeah, the gridiron, right? So they had that, and then I know they had the NASCAR one come up. We saw the NASCAR profile underneath one of the players as well towards the end there too from Concord.
One of those.
Or Snider, excuse me, from Snider. Yeah, we saw it from Snider earlier on as one of their players. And then I know actually two of our production people would love this. They had the F1 cars out there as well.
Hey.
So, yeah, I mean, it's great things. I mean, you have so many varieties of cars, but I mean, which one? Normally we would see, I think you would agree with this. I think normally we see the Octane out there as the more generalized cars that are being played so much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to open up the floodgates of potential opinions to talk about which car is better and stuff like this.
Oh yeah, no.
If you were to look at the technical discrepancies, like that's really all there is. I feel like in this argument, you can go on everybody just go on the website. You can see it on there. You can see just how dissimilar some of them are and how pretty much the same some of them are. But yeah, you're 100% right. It's going to be mostly Octane. There's a reason why this car has been in for quite a long time, not looking to be dislodged anytime soon. 6-0 in our first match. Big differences besides ping issue. Like if you just take the ping issues, kind of remove that from what our practice was. Obviously, the big change here is that Concord was able to put up at least one score on there. The goose egg from game one is never going to feel good, but this matchup is not done yet, Clutchkey. Yeah,
I mean, best of 5 again. So right now in the series, Snider leads 1-0. And I mean, better start. I could say this already for Snider, or rather for Concord. Better start. No goals scored yet as of right now. So they're holding their own. They know they got to try to keep some pressure on, try to keep themselves out of a shot on goal situation here, because Snider does have that opportunity to do so. Slightly Washed is going to bring it up, but with no boost remaining, he will just leave it there and try to go grab some more of that 100 on the sides of the field. But now a little more pressure. We see this coming up now. Almost a shot on goal from Slightly Washed.
Whoa.
Or rather, a shot on goal, but does get the save there. Cryptic will bounce this up off the top, and I know this feeling too well. It hits the crossbar. 4:11 left to go on the clock. I know that makes one of our production people smile when I play with him. 4:05 left to go now, and again, you can see the difference, though. I mean, Concord's trying to put on pressure, which I like now.
Yeah, no, Evade My Taxes was using the same car last time. Sorry, I thought we did actually have a change in the physical vehicles that were being played in this, but that's not the case. Minute 15 seconds into this, hands down better performance from Concord. Quantitatively, qualitatively, everything in between. They've had more opportunities. They had more time. Okay. I see you guys. You hear me making a point? I'm gonna make it moot just like that. A triple. Yeah, one player just kind of flying off, Cryptic flying off the left side, not doing much of anything. Slightly Washed, and teammate Evade My Taxes, kind of fighting to get back to the middle, but neither of them really accomplishing that. Sucks to see, but it's only one goal. Never. All right, I'm done.
right away as Tugboat tries to recover here. That's already a second goal there coming out there from Crow. 2-0 in favor of Snider right now. Top of the screen, 1-0 on your scoreboard for in favor of the match for Snider right now. So 3 minutes and 35 seconds left to go, and already again Snider's just gonna push this one forward. Good save by Cryptic. Downstairs shot. This won't go in either, and another great save here from from the side of Concord. So great showcase so far. Hits it, and another good save by Evade My Taxes. So he's making sure goals are evaded as of right now. Off the top of the crossbar, a little bit of a backspin and goes in, and Snider with 3:14 left on the clock is up 3-0.
Yeah, I won't call it a return to normalcy by any means, but this is exactly what we've seen Snider do so far. 2 of these 3 goals have been fast, they've been loud, they've been incredibly close, and they've been purchased off the back of a Concord squad that in this game are getting more offensive time. They're getting more opportunities and more possessions to bring this up the middle of the field. And there we go. Finally. Oh my God, I feel vindicated. Here we go, Clutch V. Is this what being right as a caster feels like?
Yeah, there you go. So two offs and then one put in. So I think you got one more to make. If you're gonna try to equalize out, I think you got one more left to go. So
Come to the dead even. Yeah.
Just to strike even, right? So, but yeah, I mean, good shot there from the side of Concord. Gets down the middle of the lane, and you know, short and simple. Just get it down the middle, and you got yourself a goal with 2:53 left. Oh. Another great save here from Concord, and you'd love to ask how many saves these guys have right now, because Evade My Taxes, I see, has 3 saves already. I mean, Cryptic's have a few of his own, so, but that just shows you the amount of pressure that Snider just is putting on right now.
Yeah, looking at the saves, 5 total for Concord, 3 from Evade My Taxes, 2 from Cryptic, slightly washed, playing a more support role in this one. 2 saves coming out from Snider, which again, especially with this goal on, goes to show how even though this is the 4th goal scored for Snider at halftime, this is a much more evenly matched matchup. Evenly matched, you know what I'm saying.
Even straight up even game. How about that? Like you're even up game or something of that nature. We'll figure out the terminology anyways. 4-1 the score line now here. 2 minutes and 23 seconds left to go. Gonna bounce off the goal wall. Will not get there. Tries to push this one out. Crisis Clone not credited for a save, but credited for at least pushing it out in the meantime. And there's a high ball that's gonna hit off the ceiling. Growth is gonna go for the double hit. Will not get it. Crisis Clone in the meantime, just trying to hit this one in. Almost goes in. Just to the left, hits the bar. And another shot by Naz will not find it. So 1 minute 57 seconds left to go now. It's down the middle. Best shot here for Concord to try and cut the lead to 2, but Kroth off the top end and in from their side. Snider up 5-1 with 1 minute 50.
Looking at about 110 seconds left in this one. There'll be a fantastic performance there from Kroth, as we've come to call him. Just simply reading this and knowing that he had the opportunity, and then doing everything that they needed to up in the middle, between like the handling of the ball and the skills there, and it's going to take them very far for Snider. Yeah,
so, I mean, right now, so far, so good. Evade My Taxes adds on another save to Concord, but I think in this game, saves is not what you want. You want a little more goals, especially if you're down 4 right now with 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go. Cryptic's going to try for the upstairs play, and a good save there from Crisis. He was waiting on that wall. There's like a spider waiting for its prey to fly into the trap. And he's just waiting there on the wall, just waiting for it to come by. Cryptic tries to get it in the goal while he was dribbling, will not get it. Also another good denial there from the team side of Orange. Snider, and they'll try to bring this up the wall now. See if they can get off the wall. Hits the ceiling a little bit, so will not get the reset that he wants there, but look at the pressure again from Snider. They're just going to bring this one out. Good hit out from Cryptic. And now, again, another good chance for Concord to try and score this.
Yeah. Longer offenses haven't necessarily been in the cards here for Concord, but they've still shown what they can get done with this. There's another potential run. There's a huge demo, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. We'll see them back in, and slightly washed completely abandons this offensive pressure. Hate to see it. Just like that, Naz DeClassy does exactly what Kroth did earlier. In this game, looking like a return to normalcy if you're a Snider fan. 6-1 in the practice, 6-0 in game numero uno, and now in game 2 here, we've seen a Concord squad that has put one up in the scoreboard, but we're looking at a Snider squad that is consistently putting up 6, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 scores in a single game. A high-scoring affair indeed, completely unlike my high school experience.
Oh boy, 6. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, I think we've seen 6s on the board for all 3 matches so far. 1 including the 3, I say, is including the practice match, but 6 seconds left to go. I think 6 points is all we'll get here, unless they go for the overtime runner here. Just got to keep the ball in the air. Slightly washed. We'll try to go upstairs for it, and nobody will be able to reach the ball in time. So Snider now taking the lead 2-0 on the scoreboard. And so, I mean, you look at the scoreboard so far, right? 6-0 to start, and then 6-1 for Snider this time. So Concord gets a little bit of a step up here, but Snider's still very much in control here. It's a best of 5, so reverse sweeps could happen. But I mean, as of right now, Snider's just looking way too good for them.
Yeah, completely possible. 5 minutes is back to the true neutral situation. They'll be there in about 40. looking at the numbers here and looking and trying to use these to tell a story. The simple fact that Evade My Taxes came through, got the most points on team, and that was just with saves. That's not an assist on Cryptic's sole goal. It's not from the 8 attempts from Cryptic and from Slightly Wash. It's just from those saves. Concord's been playing a defensive game so far, and I know that the standard saying is the best offense is a good defense. That is the exact opposite true here for the great game of Rocket League. You allow another team to consistently get shots on you, they're going to make in one eventually. And, loss of 1, loss of 10 doesn't matter here in the great esport of Rocket League. An L is an L. You'll take it at the end of it. Once that score says 0-0, if you're not tied up, that is it. That's done. That's dusted. And just simply spending more time on offense, that can come off the back of more coordinated defensive performances as well, because double stacking the box, especially in the mid when a player is coming in from super high, just simply isn't it. If you need to have kind of adopt the thinking of keeping a player up on wall, at least as somebody is coming in from a super high distance away, or super far distance away and coming in from high, then do that. If you need to literally almost cheat up on this and start from the mid, start from somewhere on the wall near goal, then do that. It doesn't you don't have to dump everything into boost to get up there and aerially is what I'm saying, Clutch. That's not 100% necessary. You can still do the same thing as long as you start there with 15 or 20 boosts. So I think a lot of these have been off the back of rotations to corners so they can go and get their hundreds, because I think it's almost like an assumption that's what they need to get a defensive performance done.
Yeah, and so, again, they got a good performance overall from the side of Snider. 6-1. Again, you talk about a dominant performance. All of the matches, again, have, for those that have been watching so far, or haven't been watching so far, first match was a practice match, so they got 6 on their board, 6, I think it's a 6-1 as well, but then go into the first match and the second match, 6-0 for Snider, 6-1 for Snider. So it's been all Snider so far. So, good games from Snider so far. We'll see if Concord can come up with their comeback here in a little while. But again, for those of you just joining us right now, you got Concord versus Snider in Rocket League. And afterwards here, it'll be Snider versus Bethel in Overwatch. So stick around for that again as you're watching here on the CENC Midwest Invitational Showcase. So as we go into it, you said, offense, or rather defense is not the best offense as of right now if you're talking about Concord. What do they need to do right now? In your opinion, what do they need to do to try to put pressure on and try to get past that 6-point mark that Snider is giving?
Spend the first half of this game playing coordinated defense and blocking passes, but now proving it. If you're Snider, you haven't had defensive rotations at all. This is literally exactly how Concord wanted to start this game. We saw a technical 1-second goal earlier. This will be the first, or the fastest goal in actual time, though, Clutch G. That's exactly how Concord wanted to start this, and that's also technically the only time that Concord has been in the lead in this matchup so far. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's so far of what we know. Yeah, but it's go for Snider. So so far, so what? That's just what we know. 4 minutes and 47 seconds already. 13 seconds and 2 goals already. This is fast.
Yeah. So also, obviously, you guys can read, but we do have 2 subs in here. Gabe Hip coming in for Nos Too Classy, and Kroth getting replaced by Brisk. Members of Snider looking to widen out their experienced group. Kriz is flown, almost shanking in a middle one there very quickly.
Yeah, and so Summit, you're up 2-0, and if you want to get the subs in, have some fun. Again, this is just a showcase match, so yeah, get the subs in and get some fun in for them. 4:17 left on the clock, but it does look like a little bit different of a Snider team, though. There's still pressure on there, but the upstairs capability is a little bit different here. They'll try to go upstairs for that one. Concord able to bring this one back out. Another good defensive rotation here from Snider to bring this ball back out to the blue side of the field. As 3 minutes and 57 seconds now, trying to bring it out to the corner. We'll miss that one, so this is a good opportunity for Concord, and actually hits it to the corner here, so an opportunity for this team of Concord to bring it in, but Cryptic hits it to the left and outside of the bar, so a chance for Concord's second lead of the game, denied access there from them, and now a good chance for Snider here. A little bit of a miscommunication on the hit, and it clears out. Brish tried to shoot it, but again, this one goes off the wall. And really, again, not too good for the side of Concord right now, or rather, I should say, for both sides really, because I mean they've had their opportunities, they've just missed on both.
Yeah, I want to take a second and kind of break down the offensive play that Concord had earlier. Once this gets a little bit, yeah, okay, so they're gonna have at least a few seconds. So Cryptic comes up and goes for this ball and has a solid shot, but you can almost assume that the first one is going to frequently get blocked away. Easy tap, that'll be blocked as well. So where's Slightly Washed? That's my point here. Where's Slightly Washed as that is going on? Not this offensive performance, but the earlier one. Slightly Washed comes flying in the left side, almost just like, you know, supporting his friend by doing the same thing. I'm not really 100% right there. Brisk putting in a closer one here, and my favorite goal animation in the great game of Rocket League. Concord again. Sorry, I don't want to be too negative here by any means, but I do want to point out the things that I see that are things that a team could improve upon. And Slightly Washed just ran off to the left side, whereas he should have waited for the rebound shot on miss or on.
All right, we'll see if they make any adjustments. Again, if this is a best of 5 right now, this would be Snider's chance to basically take this match for themselves 3-0. Otherwise, Concord, if they win here, we go on to game number 4. 2.5 minutes left to go on the clock. And you were talking about favorite goal animations. Why not the OG ones, right? Like Dueling Dragons is still there? No?
Dude, come on, right? Like, I have a mustache. I'm a white guy in America. the yeehaw, like, come on. Like, what else am I supposed to like?
Hey, look. There are some from the OG side that, you know, before we got the animated, you know, like the pop, you know, the cowboy one you just saw. There are some OG ones that are really nice still. So
I'm not arguing with it. I'm just meaning a little bit. Yeah. Again, Rocket League, their other side, third party partnerships, their in-game things, skins, everything else like that really is top tier, and the animations are definitely a part of that.
You'd love to see a I don't know if they do have this. I know they have the car again, but you know, again, James Bond themed
Aston Martin.
Yeah. Oh no, not just the Aston Martin, but you know, just the James Bond goal animation. You know, something like that pops up 007 and
oh, that would be awesome. Like the shaking circle, like the beginning of the movie is like the shaking circle.
Right.
Comes like shoots the camera, and then like it's like the liquid kind of like pours down, whether that's blood or whatever else. No, I'm with it. Maybe a little bit violent for Rocket League.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. I mean, I think the most violent we get is the explosion. The explosions on a demo or goal like that just scored there by Gabe So Hip. So 3-1 now the score line. So a minute 16. Again, a better performance here overall by Concord, but that was without the substitutions in. So again, still 3-1 in their favor of Orange. They're just looking to clean this one up with a minute 16 left to go. And as of right now, I mean, Concord's doing a better job in putting pressure on into the goal. That one's shot, but it's blocked already by Brisk. And had an open goal area. We'll try to bring that one out, but Slightly Washed able to save that one. Gabe So Hip with a good rotation to keep this on their side, but now blue side of Concord will have a good opportunity to try to bring this one home.
Cryptic putting that one up well. Slightly Washed reaches out for it. Cannot reach out and take it. Oh well. That is a reference nobody in this game will get. At least none of the high schoolers at least will get.
I don't think the high schoolers got. I think I believe I'm in the ballpark of believing what it is. But 37.
It's an older song, of course, but most 15, 16-year-olds were 10 years from being born at that point. Chris's clone bouncing this one up and over. 4th goal in. Not going to call it yet, but it is a average of 10 seconds per goal just required for Concord to come back and bring it to the top. So even with a sudden death situation, and like kind of the volleyball situation, don't let the ball hit the ground at a 0-0 if we do get there. Oh, sorry, we will get there eventually, and we will get the volleyball situation, but if that is not at 3-4, then it will not matter. That's what
yeah, so anyways, I mean, 20 seconds left to go. 3 goals kind of insurmountable at this point. They're just trying to seal up the deal here if they were to get a goal, but Cryptic's going to do his best to try to bring this one from the downtown area, but hits the top of the ceiling. You won't get anything done there if you can't reset on the flip. We'll try to score this one in, but this one pretty much all but wrapped up. Snider will be able to take the series by the score of 3-0, just hitting it off the wall. Maybe they get one more. It's, again, as long as this ball is kept up in the air, the clock will not die, but the clock dies on over, 0s on the board, and overall a great win for them. Again, final score 4-1 in favor of Snider. Go through the series score 6-0 in the very first game, 6-1 in match number 2, and then match number 3 to sweep up is 4-1 for Snider. So, I mean, overall great match. Concord I should say did have their highlights, but I think overall Snider just having too much.
Yeah, this is the perfect part. All right, guys, we were just kidding. Those were all practices. Now we're actually going to start the best of 5 because honestly,
Oh,
what I would love to see is how this match kind of goes. Like, no, I'm kidding, of course. This match is over. Snider has taken in 3-0 fashion. We did have the practice at the beginning, but my point is this, Clutch. What I would have liked to see is, given this went from what 6-1, 6-0 situations back to a 6-1 in game number 2, but then down to the 4-1. I would love to see how this matchup goes. Like, if this was say like a week 1 in a regular season, like a regular like online league here for high school Rocket League, I would this is a match I would highlight in the future to go back and, like, really pay attention to for future matches, because just the simple fact that there was such like a gradient difference. And you could even see it just in gameplay, just simply how these players were coordinating. You're basically watching comms come through for Concord in game 3, whereas these are just like guttural grunts or something like that. If we're talking about like differences in communications in like game 1, it just simply didn't happen in game number 1 or in that practice really. So what I would love to see, if this is like, again, like a regular like a week 1 of a regular season or something like that, I would be looking forward to like that week 8 or something like that, when Concord and Snider like came back up against, and really how that game changes from games 1 into game 2 and into game 3 or even beyond, because I really feel like Concord could have definitely taken this, or at least like come out with an edge. It was more of a question of like, how well are they going to read Snider? How well are they going to be able to identify what Snider is going to be doing? Because there wasn't like some huge skill gap here. At least I don't think so. Like, numbers wise, I may be incorrect there. But just judging this from what I've seen and not knowing a whole lot about some of these high school players, I feel like Snider was just simply coordinating, communicating better, and like had like the edges cleaned up a little bit better. You know what I'm saying, Clutch?
yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, you want to see their progress at the very least, right? These are just high school guys. At the very least, you want to see, like, maybe when we get to college, right? I mean, there's the collegiate Rocket League scene out there that, if Snider, if whoever's going out from Snider, I mean, if they stay at the same team, how much they improve. Going up to the next level, or I should say, not going up to the next level, but going up to that college scene. They're in high school right now, so I mean, if they go the college route, then yeah, I mean, you'd love to see what they take on from there. And again, another thing too, we talk about the best, or not the best thing I should say, but the one thing we talk about here, time of possession on the side of both blue and orange. I mean, Snider was on that orange, was on the orange team, but kept it on the blue side for most of that game, you would say. I mean, again, you only saw 2 goals from Snider that entire way, 3 if you were to count the practice match from earlier on, but a total of, I mean, again, if you're going from that practice match, it was a total of 22 goals overall in the span of 4 matches from Snider. So I mean, that's an impressive streak, just keeping on that side. By the way, coming up next, I should say, in a little while, we'll have our Overwatch showcase. You'll see Snider, their Rocket League team, instead of Rocket League though, Snider's Overwatch team will come into play, and it'll be them against Bethel, who Bethel actually playing just a little while ago. On the stage for the CENC Invitational, or Midwest Invitational, nice. I should say. So they are warmed up and all ready to go. We'll see if Snider's Overwatch team is all warmed up and ready to go here in a little while. I mean, we're excited for that one. You and I will be on the call for that one as well.
Absolutely. I want to meme a little bit here at the end and talk about something I've said before about Rocket League. What I want to see is just like the full juxtaposition of traditional sports and esports, right? Like, when I was growing up, I had to hide the fact that I was like playing Halo 2 from like girls I was interested in high school and stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? What I want to see is just starting with, like, say Rocket League here, and just like start to completely take that position, just like the full on corruption and everything terrible the NCAA does and everything else like that. Like with football, I want to see that happen, and like Rocket League players just start getting traded to other high schools for the even like adults, and people making money off of them, and thousands of dollars being given to parents and stuff like this, and uncles being paid off to go off and do this, and gambling and bets and everything else like that. Meanwhile, like football comes back like farther away from the main, and eventually in like 30 years, we have like nerds huddling on football fields to play gridiron pigskin in like secret without telling girls they're interested in and they want to talk to you. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. And Rocket League players going forth and winning, class president and homecoming king, queen, all this other stuff.
You'd love to see it. You'd love to see it sooner or later. You'd love to see it, just to see that transition. I mean, we already have like the business aspect down, I guess you could say. So maybe, exactly, right? maybe coming out soon. All right. All right.
You already know what to do. Just go full corrupt already.
Just go for it already. All right. We will take the break, and when we come back, it will be Overwatch time between Bethel and Snider. We're gonna take our break, and we'll see you guys on the other side for the Overwatch showcase.
you happy now? Are you happy now? Cracking. ricochet. I see the sparks you throw my way. I know your name is written on everyone's mind. Your whole show is captivating me, but don't think that I can see right through that disguise. But when you got close to me, you had me falling so hard, baby, hard, baby. Yeah, now I get it. You got heads turning, Can you dig it?
And we are live. We are here with the CENC Midwest Invitational Showcase. I'm FBI Tugboat, and here with my man Clutch Key. We want to give our quick shout outs to production members. That is K-Tad, Colton, and Scoots. We appreciate them because, of course, Clutch Key, without them, we are just beautiful faces attached to golden throats, right? Just beautiful voices as well. Just screaming out into the void without production. It doesn't go anywhere. We got our Overwatch matches coming up here, Clutch.
Yeah, Overwatch match is coming up. It's a showcase match here, and it's going to be between Snider, who we just saw on the Rocket League side, but a different team now. Instead of Rocket League, it's going to be Overwatch, and then you're going to have Bethel coming in. By the way, Bethel coming in their third-place match up against Ball State You saw earlier on they played against them in the best 2 out of 3, and they would win 2-0 there. So an impressive victory overall, and I did like their play style. We'll talk about that later. I mean, they were playing aggressively, which I like as very early on. So, I mean, we'll see what happens coming out here, and we'll see if Snider can give them a run for their money at their 3rd place.
Yeah, we will definitely see. Like you said, coming in hot right here off the land performance out there in Indiana, I believe, Iowa. I get the I states mixed up a whole lot right here. But one of those places, and shout out to these colleges getting back to it, doing it safely, of course, and having those in-person competitions. And shout out to all the casters there as well. You know, Seplin's Door covering the 3rd place matches right there. Shout out to them. They did a fantastic job, seriously.
Oh, yeah.
That was a 2-0 right there. We saw that come down. We don't have like reports of the what the ramifications 3rd place wise of the live competition. We just know that they scored 3rd, 2-0 fashion. It was not completely one-sided by any means. That all ended out there on Watchpoint Gibraltar, I believe. Run through the rosters now, right?
Yep, go ahead.
Gotcha. Bethel, this is the university out of Minnesota. The Royals here, Roy the Lion, I believe, being their mascot. You got the Zack Attack and Big J5, I believe, making up the DPS core of the Bethel University Royals. Quibsy, Momo coming in for the tank lineups, and Brandon and Jake, just the quintessential look at it. Yeah, you know, esports tags they're overrated, right, Clutch? They're just going with first names right here. Brandon and Jake, easy peasy. That's the healing core here for the University of Bethel.
Yeah, and again, we saw, going back to their game, I mean, we saw them in their 3rd place game, Bethel again against Ball State, and really Bethel, I mean, they didn't get to the 3rd place match for nothing. They didn't get up to the top 3 for nothing. They did show that their teamwork was there. They showed that they can be a threat as long as they get their right composition, get their right picks and everything. So, I mean, everything, if this works out for them, I mean, it is a showcase match. Obviously, you have Snider as a high school going up against the college. Maybe the high school, or maybe the college has a little more experience than the high school. We'll see about that. But as of right now, I like where Bethel is headed. I mean, if it's 3rd place now, maybe in next time they have this invitational, they get that championship mark.
Yeah, we will see how that goes. I think that we mentioned this, but we'll be starting. This is a best of 3, of course. We will not. The people rejoice. We will not be seeing any PCP right here. See Busan to start with. We'll see a loser picks Hybrid, and then a loser picks Escort if we do get down there. Snider on the left, Bethel on the right. We'll run through Snider right quick. AJ Mac and Cheese. AJ Mac and Cheese and Quantrell making up the DPS duo. Jabo. What am I doing wrong here, Clutch? Jabobers.
Yeah.
Is that right? Jabobers.
Jabobers. Yeah, I would say Jabobers.
Jabobers on the Reinhardt. Pop 260 on the Zarya. Eyelid and Yakester. Not Jakester, but Yakester. Maybe a Jake and Jake matchup here. The supports. Who knows? Getting back to it. Excuse me. Quantrell looking for some damage in edgewise. Bethel has only found picks so far.
Yeah, and I mean, right now you're looking at it, and I like they kind of switch sides, one on the catwalk, the other one on the upper side. But you can see now just Big J5 just staying on top of here and getting what they needed to do, and they're going to flip the point in their case. But this composition that they have, right, the Soldier can get you as many picks as you need to on the upper side. Tracer can get your back line as well. So now they're going to have to make a little bit of a switch here for Snider side, and that's exactly what you want to see here. The Roadhog can stun out anybody they want, especially that Wrecking Ball that's going to come behind you. Maybe even the Diva that's going to come and try to charge you down. Brigida's going to try to stop your backline Tracer from coming forward, as well as the Cowboy with the flashbang. So this is a good start for them to switch, at least for Snider. But the pulse bump's going to be even bigger for that. It almost stuck. If that is stuck onto a healer, it's already fight over.
Yeah, Jabo falling right here may not do well for them, but starting that off with a missed Tracer Bomb, not going to do anybody any favors. Bethel so far have not, correct me if I'm wrong here, but have not dropped a single death yet.
I believe they dropped one in the very beginning. They didn't have a trade at the very beginning, but that was about it. So I mean, you'd be close on that. They had one trade, but I mean, other than that, yeah, you're right. So far, so good for Bethel. And you see the ultimate pool now. 2 ultimates up for Bethel. They should be able to use the landmines here perfectly.
Beginning of it, AJ Mac and Cheese thrown into the thick of things here. Space Marine now rotating on around. Oh, excuse me. So no Quibsy. No Momo. Yeah, no Quibsy, no Momo, but instead Relentless and Space Marine for Bethel. Transcendence invested here. I am not 100% sure about that, but Jabo finding some K's in the side. That's a attack visor here, finding one. Now looking for the second support. Little support on support action down there. Fratricide or something like that. I don't know. That's the killing of the friend. No, brother. Or right? Fratricide. I can't remember.
Well, I mean, so far, again, you're looking at Snider as the round may about to end here, but I mean, Bethel's just got everything going. But they wasted a lot of ultimates. Snider's going to have 2, 3 ultimates, maybe 4 with this Reaper and the Deadeye coming out. Somebody got to contest, which they do.
There you go. Quantrell taken out first. Huge source of damage out. Huge shatter landed. Opts for the Brig on this. Not a bad position. Not a bad choice. A lot of damage coming against this Reinhardt, but that is really going to be the only L that Snider High did take on this one. Showing up in Rocket League, now showing up in Overwatch Clutch Key.
Yeah, and Snider coming in with the big, again, Jamaverse with the Shatter, which is going to switch on over to the Sigma. I kind of like this pick just because now you can kind of stop the forced rotation from Big J5 on the Soldier. I mean, Soldier's got a sprint, Tracer's got that, Tracer's got the rewinds and all of that, so trying to force that out is a really good thing.
Initial pick, little hit scan on hit scan. AJ Mac and Cheese taking out Big J5-4 right now. 6 on 5. Snider now dropping a DPS of their own. Support deleted now for Bethel as well as AJ Mac and Cheese just goes on a tear right here. The next on the chopping block there was Brandon. It looks like Snider's holding on, gonna be taking some progress for now, Clutch.
Yeah, and a good pressure there from Bethel. They made them oh my god, pile driver onto the sword. But that's even bigger too because that stalls out a lot of time. That stalls out about 10 seconds for them to regroup, so that's a huge pick for them. So now Snider's kind of in the driver's seat here, and you look at the ultimate pool, you're going to have a Deadeye, you're going to have a landmines ready to go, but Jabba Burst is going to be super important. If you can build up this gravitic flux, that is big because, I mean, really, the only thing that can stop you is Brandon going to have to waste that Transcendence on you in order to save everybody else.
There's the tack, a decent positioning for it, and plays this perfectly. Unknown to many members of Snider, Salvation is a simple short cover away. Not willing to give this one up quite yet, though. Bethel covering that right now. Snider members aren't too far away. The overtime does get in. Zach with the tag out, not gonna hit that one. Pop. Even that 600 big body hamster is not gonna be able to kick. All of this almost completely chased down. There's the Tracer, does get taken out. Quantrell finds one, so maybe a decent start, but members simply cannot get over and in front of this. Quantrell, the Reaper, I thought played well, but I'm racking my brain trying to think of a Death Blossom, a die that actually had an effect on that map.
I think it had an effect on that map, and you go back to the earlier fight on top of, on the second floor side, it had a little bit of an effect where everybody kind of focused in on the Reaper, and that allowed Snider to kind of just push in and make sure that they did get their kills, but that's also really important too because now they didn't really have a Death Blossom or an ultimate, a DPS ultimate of some sort to kind of just push out and allow for the rest of that fight to handle itself out. So what Bethel did great is that they didn't have to force their ultimates unless they really needed to, and that's where they won that fight towards the end. Now you're going to see here on downtown, Snider coming in with a little bit of a change in Echo and a Widowmaker, which I like. Bethel's not going to have much to stop this on a Tracer and a Sombra. Maybe the Sombra hacks that, but other than that, I mean, the only thing you're going to have really to stop it is the Diva. And it's a far Echo combo. I don't have a really word for it, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to find out what Snider does here, especially with the Winston that could pressure this Widow.
Faraco?
Faraco? No, that's Far.
There's something there. There's something there.
There's something there.
We'll talk about that one later. Getting back to the action for right now, and just for right now, we will get back to that. AJ Mac and Cheese going on an absolute shooting galley right now as Eyelid takes a solid res against the biggest player, biggest hit. Maybe not the biggest. I guess Ball and Diva have the same technical amount of hit points there, but Diva has it afterwards. This team fight is done. Snider has taken it. Bethel's just kind of awkwardly pushing in at this so far. Yeah, I was gonna say you definitely don't want to lose late picks of this again, right?
Yeah, you don't want to lose late picks, especially because again you're wasting time off the board. Now they maybe get like 2 fights, if that, if it goes long. I mean, you don't want these fights to last too long because if you're the loser of it, right now, if you're Bethel and you lose that, that's even more time wasted off the clock, and you somehow have to go into desperation mode at that point. But I'm liking the attack that Snider's providing right now. Let's see if they can hold.
Self-destruct over the top. The pull shot is going to land. There you go. Jake taken out of right now is Brandon Relentless, both getting Ks of their own a little bit closer on into point. Snider fighting this one 4-5 for right now. Yakester getting back into it. Takes a kill, but then pays for it with their lives. Snider is going to be completely content to just sit here and even time these out, right? Even reinforcements and more, you're still taking progress right now, Clutchkey.
Yeah, so again, you talk about these long fights, and it's not working out in their favor. I mean, Bethel here is playing more of a fast-paced dive composition with the Tracer and obviously the Sombra here. But again, for this kind of composition, if one person dies, the rest of the composition fails at that point, and you see that already. They got the 2 DPSs to start early on, but as soon as one pick falls, I mean, look, they're already getting pressured out. You have to run the table immediately. You have to get in this backline, but now there's 3 people in the backline to worry about: a Mercy, of Lucio, and a Widowmaker now. So if you don't get rid of at least 2 of them, I would say, then already Bethel's going to find themselves in trouble when this is the last fight for them right here.
Yeah, big trouble indeed. A tie here, pushing it on to the third Busan map. I like the Zac change so far. Here comes the copy. Quantrell super close to that one already, just after a single jump and a little bit of tickle right there. Is going to get the Primal Rage at the end. Not sure if they'll be able to finish that one out completely. A sound barrier in the middle. Yakester keeping everyone alive for right now, and Pop continues to find that self-destruct positivity. Love to see it. Snider actually just on the cusp of closing this one out, 100-0 as well.
Yeah, I'm liking the composition though so far on downtown. You want to play something that you're comfortable with, and it looks like they are comfortable with it. Looks like they might be able to win this out, except the stick bomb. They might be able to come back here.
Big J5 coming back in a big way right now. I was using my tone, pitch, and timbre to signify that I thought this team fight was over. That is anything but the truth, Clutchkey.
Yeah, I mean, they flipped it right away. I mean, in desperation mode, the thing's going to come out, and they didn't really shift on over. You had ultimates come out. I mean, Jake using a sound barrier as well. It's just they poured on the ultimates as they could. And Bethel's team right now can build up ultimates very fast. I mean, Tracer's going to have that pulse bomb already halfway done. We saw it in that last fight early on as well, but already getting halfway. Space Marine can get an ultimate very fast with a Winston as well. I mean, it's just, again, but as soon as somebody dies, there it is. Zac goes down. This could be it.
Quantrell focusing out, trades all over the place. A tank and a support down, tank and a DPS, down for Bethel. Snider coming back, rocketing into this one and getting just the last little bit of damage that they needed. Love to see it. Bethel, right on the cusp of getting knocked out of this one and pushing it on to some extra time, right?
Yeah, and they're going to get to overtime. This should be a win here. I mean, now they're in desperation mode. Winston has to jump in alone, and I really don't think they get here. The Lucio's going to try to contest, but he gets knocked away, and that was going to be the sight anyways. But again, this is a great comeback from Snider, and this was the perfect map to pull out what they did. You have that kind of upper deck and lower deck area where you have the upper damage coming from, or maybe the Widowmaker at one point, and then the Echo coming in the air, which is a great thing as well, but switches on over from the Cowboy on over to the McCree, onto the Cowboy. Now you have a little bit more lower damage coming on. And Snider played that perfectly against Bethel, because Bethel really wasn't getting anything towards the end there as well. So, I mean, I like Snider's play here, but it really now comes down to the big drum, because this one, I mean, compositions can go all over the place here. And if Bethel was going with this double sniper composition, I mean, there's really nothing there. And especially now, if you're going to have a Doomfist, you got to pick him up first if you're Bethel. If you're Bethel, you have to focus on this Doomfist here, or make a switch to get rid of this Doomfist, because if he backlines you, this Doomfist is going to get rid of your DPSs or your backline so fast if he does this correctly.
Yeah, especially looking at the other side of the Zenyatta and an only really vertically movement capability Baptiste. Starting this one off, solid headshot, res invested, so Snider not going to have that one for the next 30 seconds or so.
There it is.
And there's the snipers actually taking these members to task. Yakester waking up right there, taking out a opposing mid-range sniper as well. Point's going to be opening up, and Bethel is taking time.
Yeah, and see, that's what you want right there. You got to take down at least the DPSs early on, right? You've got 3 hit scans. or rather, I shouldn't say 2 hit scans in this game, but also 1 projectile. And then there's just Snider, who has AJ Mac and Cheese on the Doomfist. So, I mean, now this Orb of Discord for Bethel actually becomes really important here, because if you can land this on either, I mean, maybe a sniper, maybe one shot does it, or I mean, even a headshot does it for either the Winston, or not Winston, excuse me, the Hanzo or the Widowmaker. So, but on the tanks wise, look at this flank from Big J5. I mean, he's looking for something, and that's what you want, right? 2 different positions where a sniper can hit you.
Yeah, the crossfire action here, but that's a very interesting point. Yeah, Bethel really looking for mid-range capabilities all over the place. There's an early shot. There's 2. Looking for 3 now up in the top and just barely clips the edge. We are looking at a Zach Widowmaker that has done everything. Pretty much everything. I mean, those could have technically been headshots, could have finished himself, but especially second, or especially third kill and kind of second. Doesn't matter, those players were dying anyway. Zach playing that role in a big way.
Yeah, and Big J5, again, look, you saw that last kill feed. They're just getting rid of the 3. That's huge for them. Zach's just trying to go for the jump shot here. Maybe he'll find something on the roof, but won't find anything. So, I mean, right now as it stands, yeah, the crossfire is working so well for them. Now they're going to switch Quantrill on over to the Soldier. I like this pick, but again, AJ Mac and Cheese really getting no value whatsoever. I don't think we've seen a Meteor Strike yet.
Yeah, that's a split team right now, but the members of Bethel actually don't come out and take advantage on top of that. And Big J5 getting chased down for right now. The Diva turns tail. That's Pop 260. Decides to join the rest of the team. Not a bad idea by any means, but kind of a abandoned push on that one. Widowmaker is getting hurt in the back, forced to take cover right there, but it's going to be Big J5 taken out. A punch and more, and Snider is back in this one.
There you go, and that's what you want from your Doomfist there. You want to get rid of the backline, albeit late, but Snider's trying to do some work. Now you've got, I mean, Earth Shatter for Jobber Burst worked out as well. You had yourself a win condition there with that Earth Shatter, so now Bethel comes in here. You're going to have a Gravitic Flux. You're going to have a Transcendence. You're going to have a Supercharger here for Bethel. This is Bethel's fight to lose right here, because as of right now, the ultimates that they're going to have are really good, and now they're both going to just pull it out.
26, 27%. Initial pick, and okay, yeah, Bethel just invested a whole lot right here to get Jet next to nothing.
Oh,
this team fight's already over.
Meteor Strike gets 2, and that's both the Orisa and the Baptiste, which is big for them. Quanto's going to be able to get back from that. That's easy. He can sprint his way forward, and Bethel's still going to wait for their people anyways. But it works out in Snider's favor, and now look at the ultimate pool you had. That Meteor Strike was big for you, because now you don't need to invest that Tac Visor. You're going to have a Tac Visor for this fight. You're going to have a Self-Destruct for this game. You're going to have a Sound Barrier for this fight as well. Bethel's going to run on a Dragon Strike and a Transcendence. That's basically what it is, and this may be a desperation shot, if anything.
Damage off to begin with. 62, 63%, so this one's not going to be done in the end of this if it goes the way of Snider regardless. Oh, Tac Visor comes out, but a Transcendence and a Shield is going to block pretty much any value that Quantrill just got from that one. Playing corners right here. Jabo getting mega aggressive. Not much armor to be spoken of. Not much armor is going to be needed. Fantastic stuff. Supports there. That's mostly Eyelid, but all, excuse me, that's, yeah, mostly Eyelid, but also Yakester. Can't discount our Lucio players, especially being a Lucio made myself. 89, 90%. And that's actually not 99 that Bethel has. That's 95, excuse me.
Yep. It's 95, and somebody's got to get onto this point. You're going to have the Tracer get onto the point, if anything, to contest this, and that might be about it. But you got to find a way to win here with the with what you got, Amplification Matrix especially.
That's now out. Brandon's huge shatter. That's everything Snider needed in the first game of your Busan. Now you're looking at a squad, a high school squad at that just not trounced, not one-sided, but definitely just beat a hot to trot Snider squad that's coming off of a third place LAN win. That really is the big narrative right here, Clutch.
Yeah. I mean, huge. I mean, you're gonna see this play of the game. I'm hoping to believe that this is right at the end here with the Earth Shatter. He's just gonna turn to the left. Yep, and he forces it out. And the Amplification Matrix allows you to do that as well, because I mean, if you kind of move the shield around that they were providing, there's nobody else to block that shatter. So that Amplification Matrix makes it so easy for you to get around. And what Snider did perfectly there too was they were playing a double shield on the side of Bethel. all they needed to do was be able to push past that shield, and they had their win condition right there. They didn't need to invest ultimates. They didn't need to really use what they, I mean, they just needed to use what they had. It wasn't working out with the Doomfist and the Ashe, so they switched on over to Soldier, which worked out better because you're able to rotate faster with both the Doomfist and the Soldier at the same time, and it worked out great for them. And again, push past the shield, you got something going, and that's exactly what Snider did. Look, it wasn't as if Bethel had nothing going there. They won the first map 100-79. It's just that Snider just showed they're flexible and they're able to adjust on the fly there. That was big for them to win this map. And going into hybrid now, it's going to be the side of Bethel that picks it. So, I mean, Bethel had a great show back on Watchpoint Gibraltar. That may be what we see. It wasn't their pick last time. Maybe it wasn't their pick against Ball State in the third place game, but maybe we see on hybrid again, or not Watchpoint Gibraltar, excuse me. We might see like something like a Hollywood here. I thought it was an escort. My apologies, folks. I thought it was an escort map 3. But maybe for a hybrid side, right? Maybe you're gonna see maybe. I mean, a Hollywood is a great possibility here. Eichenwald is another thing as well. I mean, double shield really doesn't work there if they're gonna go for it. But if they're gonna go fast paced, for the side of Bethel, maybe they go. You know, Hollywood may not be the best, but I would say Eichenwald maybe your better bet there.
Yeah, I mean, you could always, play the crowd favorite, go Kings Row. Right?
Or Kings Row, yeah, Kings. I mean, Kings. I don't mention Kings Row because I mean you're looking like Kings Row, right?
So
it's all about.
Too, right?
It's one, it's played so much, right? And then 2, it's like they're so flexible, and we saw Snider go and change on the fly, right? So the next map actually going to be Blizzard World, which I like this pick from them as well. I mean, you just got to get through the archway around the statue and all of that to get to the point. I think, I might be wrong in saying this, but I think it's the farthest distance from Blizzard World from the spawn room to get to the control point there. I think it's pretty much one of the farthest distances.
If you take like longitudinal difference, it's not like just like as the crow flies, but if you take like the changes in verticality because you have to go up steps, at least two ways. And if you take the short side where you have to go, like once you go through choke to the right, up those steps near where the card comes through, then it's like super long. I understand what you're saying.
No. But there's three ways to go, right? You can go underneath on the left side on the lower left staircase. You can go upper side on the right side on the right upper staircase if you can rotate all the way around, or you just take a straight shot around the statue and you get to the control point. But still, what I mean is it's a long way to go. If you're gonna play fast paced, this is the way to do it. You gotta get as many fights. I shouldn't say as many fights in as possible, but you want to try to rush here in at the point. And I think it's gotta be something that Bethel's got to be good at, and we saw that back on Mecha Base where they were putting on the pressure. It's just all of a sudden Snider decided to flip the switch, and they put on a good show for us. So right now, as it stands, Blizzard World's not a bad pick. It's just that Snider has something underneath their sleeves, right? That if they pull out the Doomfist, maybe it's just a little bit of a sneak around or whatnot. They pull out a Soldier again, crossfire thing, same thing, where Doomfist is on the ground, Soldier's on the top. I mean, who knows at this point? Snider can pull out anything, and we wouldn't know.
Yeah, that really is a big gem that we should take from game number 1. This high school squad was able to just really flex to whatever they needed to play at any given time, especially the stark difference between some of those 3 maps there on Busan. Especially ending it out with double sniper, the Hanzo, the Widowmaker there. There's just, again, being able to adapt to situations like that will be something that provides you value in any first-person shooter that is team-based, I can guarantee you. Bethel on the right, Snider on the left. No real changes there. So far showing the tour, but we know how this pick can at least be shown, right?
Yeah, and I mean, it's an interesting composition here for Snider on the defensive side. The Snider really, you have Jabaverse, right? Or I'm sorry, not Jabaverse. Quantrell on the Torbjorn. AJ Mac and Cheese on the Soldier. Quantrell's thinking that maybe there's something in the backline. So this is going to deny any backline, maybe a Tracer and Echo in the area as well. And Bethel is going to have 2 tanks subbing in. So Mobile and Quibsy are now in on their side. So this could be a big difference for them. And now they're going to go with a little bit more of a rush comp. This is what I was talking about. Longitude-wise, you've got the farthest distance away from the spawn room to the control point here. And Bethel's going to pull out something that can go fast. This is the Wrecking Ball and the Wrecking Ball and the Diva along with the Tracer Echo get the flight up in the air. Now, the thing is, you cannot let Brandon die. If this Orb of Discord dies, game over already.
Yeah, they really need that focus of attention. There's a main support done for Snider as well on the defense. No reses to be spoken of. They really need to clean up this team fight. They need to do that one quickly. Quibsy rotating around with the rest of the squad. A little bit of attention onto this right heart on the other side as AJ Mac and Cheese looks to reposition. Shots over the side, and looks like Bethel is forced back for right now.
Yeah, and again, that's a good defense. They go fast, but the defensive hold faster, and that's what you want, right? You want to be able to target the people that you can, and that main healer too, big pick early on, and that just forces Bethel out. And so again, I mean, a condition here to win still is Brandon on this orb of Discord, and you cannot let this Echo Mercy die. If any part of that thing dies, then I mean, if that soul ball is on the ground, you're not going to be able to res it.
Pop first. Eyelid trying to find a way into this one. Zach over the side, bunch of damage. The Torb turret being the first focus of fire. Contesting out, and I think with that Quibsy pick, that might be enough. Between the turret gone, here comes the... Never mind, the aimbot out, almost gets fully boofed, tries to move to a small, does get there, but gets swarmed with tanks as soon as they do. AJ Mac and Cheese, a valiant effort, but it's only first point. It's a hybrid.
Yeah, it's only first point, but I mean, good. I mean, for the start, it looked pretty good. I mean, if they had held them longer, it would have been even better. But now you see a little bit more of the rush coming out here, and especially here on Street Space, you're gonna see how far this rush can go. And I mean, already you lose, so now at this point you need to regroup. Oh my God!
Pull! What a pull, Pop. This is his world. We're just living in a clutch key. What a way to stop it. Offensive push. Instruction. Where are you going? You can basically hear the voice slide. And then they do the same thing to Pop here. Or excuse me, they do the same thing to Mobo that Momo and Quibsy did to AJ Mac and Cheese on the Soldier. In the same exact position earlier too. Good little taste of their own medicine, right?
Yeah, and this is one place where you don't want this card. You don't want it not moving here, especially underneath this archway. You've got no space to play now, except in the spawn room. And with the amount of things that they have, the whole hog, the Earth Shatter, this is going to be interesting to find out what they play. Yeah,
there's Molten Core out to at least buy a little bit more time. I like this play. That is not a great one if you're a member of Snider. Lots of, yeah, that was just tank ultimates all day long. Now Jabo going to get picked apart in the back.
Yeah, and I mean, you didn't have to waste a lot there either. I mean, Brandon used the Transcendence, Momo using Self-Destruct, Quibsy on the landmines, already get a quarter of the way back. Snider investing some as well, but now you're going to see Quancho switching on over to the Ashe. Now that you're on the Street Space, you have two things that can take care of the Echo. The only thing now that you need to worry about, as long as you're the Ashe at least, if you don't stay with the team, is if this Tracer picks you off in the back, because that's going to be huge for them if they can get rid of one big source of damage as long as they can keep landing. Maybe the Dynamite becomes a big threat.
What a sleep onto the Tracer as well. Everybody's there and tried to line up the Electric Cowboy. What a shot right there. An electric Snider squad indeed. Everything out. Last little bit of that nano boost is gone. AJ Mac and Cheese just gets focused down at the end, and even with an absolute onslaught of damage, Snider cannot keep it up through that one. Quibsy looking to cut off these respawns as well. And yeah, this is a split Snider squad right now.
Yeah, it's because of the spawn room, because they took it so fast. They took that last part so fast that Zach now able to just run in there, and now it's separated out. They separated spawn rooms. 3 spawned in the back room, 3 spawning in the front in that second room. So now Bethel's got plenty of time, and I don't like what Snider did, to be honest, because they just gave them so much room to play. It was only 1 fight. On Streets, you want to keep it to maybe 2 or 3 fights, but Bethel only needed 1 fight to push it from underneath that archway, and that was it. So they gave them way too much room to play. And with the fast-paced run like this, you cannot give them any room to play on.
Yeah, really, especially, 3:30 now, looking at the last couple turns. Self-destruct out, no armor there. The projected barrier is out from Pop, but that self-destruct's going to find 2. Quibsy continuing on with this ball as well. Just being I mean, that's the hamster roll, just being irritating, right?
Yeah, and I think Jaboverse playing a little too aggressively. I like the aggressiveness, don't get me wrong. I like what Jaboverse is doing, playing aggressively, but with the potential of a Diva Bomb, and you got to be aware of a self-destruct potential, you got to back off of that, because you saw 2 people die already on that self-destruct. There's no shield to protect them. I mean, They had no walls there either. So Jaboverse, again, I like the aggressiveness, just you got to know, there's got to be an awareness of where to do it. Yeah,
awareness positioning all day long. Bethel getting just outside, like 7 meters away. Taking the top, Xylan. Valkyrie is out, keeping everybody alive for right now. Members of Bethel trying to find a way in edgewise, and that's not going to happen yet. A charge, some well-placed Yakester shots. Going to buy Snider a new lease on life and a little bit of time, Clutch Key.
Yeah, and this comp right here, I think, is the best area for them, and you don't want to say that because it's in the last point, but it's a homish area where for Snider, right, you can just hunker down, you can keep it going. Now Bethel again is going to have a lot of ultimates, Transcendence, Valkyrie, as well as a Duplicate. So you're going to have a plethora of ultimates here. Snider, oh boy, Sleeping Diva, oh boy, but that's going to stop your progress for a little while. But Snider, I mean, you have a nano boost here. As long as maybe you get this on either the attack visor or Jabberburst, you've got yourself a good chance to win this because it's closed area in here. You're not going to have much for anybody else.
There's the copy now. Zach choosing the Reinhardt, smart idea. Charge come in, stun between the two. Quantrell, the only member outside of Pop-Up that has an ultimate on the side of Snider, is now down. Here comes the grab as well. There's a Transcendence in the middle, so you're going to be mostly negating that one out. Gigster getting absolutely swarmed in the back, and all shall fall onto the shoulders of Gigster and Pop-Up at the end. That's not going to be enough. And 100 even seconds is Bethel University. That's the Royals. Their reward for finishing out Blizzard World.
Wow. I mean, good job from them. It looks like a good team now from Bethel. They figured it out towards the end. They just need to rush. They just need to pressure. I do want to point out, though, there's a Diva that's hungry because the Graviton Surge got eaten towards the end there, and that was big. If that Graviton Surge lands, I mean, that's at least 2 to 3 people inside of it. It's all Jabberburst, and pretty much everybody else would have to do. Jabberburst especially, just swing away, and you've got yourself an ultimate in that little Graviton Surge. But it got eaten, and Bethel had themselves their good point of victory because, I mean, once that's eaten, you know that big ultimates aren't coming anymore because Snider was still building up what they had. Their Deadeye was used in that previous fight as well. So really nothing coming out for their side. Now Bethel, I mean, Snider was the one that picked the side. So it's not bad that they picked the defending side to start because they got to see what Bethel's going to pull out for the attacking side. But a rush composition like that sometimes doesn't work out here in this situation, especially on the defensive side, because if one person falls, that spawn room is so far away from them that maybe the rush composition and a stagger and like that, if one person falls, then the rest of the team is going to fall as well. So Snider does a good job at picking defensive here. But now you see the Bethel's defensive side, they're going to switch it up with the Symmetra and the Hanzo. I like this pick because you're going to have the turrets that are kind of watching the point. At the same time, Hanzo's going to be able to give you a radar out to track what they've got, as well as maybe make some shots. And if the Earthshatter lands a Dragon Strike, maybe even in the better realm of possibilities as well. So they're coming out with similar comps. The only difference is Snider's going to run the Ashe. This will be interesting.
Yeah, the Sigma, Pop-Pop in the Jabbo dual shield composition. That's a very early pick as well. Defense losing one, but just like that, a little bit too aggressive for, a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too early, right? The entirety of Bethel was just watching this corner, even with a player down. That is going to be more than enough damage that he'd be able to get into that one. Zach getting super low right here and focusing Pop-Pop, and just like that, a Snider high school squad that doesn't back up loses a lot more than they had to, I feel like.
Yes, I mean, 60 seconds off the board already, and if I may meme for a second, Zach symmetrical burr. But I mean, right now as it stands, yeah, I mean, it really is because the Symmetra's causing so much pressure. You saw him go low, but if he gets healed up and all he has to do is just kind of rip away at shields, rip away at the characters, and he's already at 90% of ult. He was almost just as fast as Brandon getting the application matrix. So I mean, right now, unless Zach is gotten rid of early on, there's no resurrection side on either side, really. So if Zach gets rid of early on, they're going to try to rotate in the back here, but that matrix is going to make a huge difference in this one.
I actually love this. They started off with taking out Zach's teleporter and the ability for reinforcements to get back quickly. Now here comes the particle wall and more. Zach knowing that he has to get out and away from the sources of damage. There's the immortality field, just absolutely saving the life of Bethel right now. Halfway to first tick. No one actually following this one quite yet. The farthest we can say on that, but just like that, the DPS core from Bethel, they don't like not taking kills. Something you noticed here, Clutchkey, watching these. They don't like not taking kills.
Yeah, and another thing too is they used ultimates there. I mean, they used Gravitic Flux there for, I mean, maybe out of desperation attempt to get the damage down, but it really wasn't going to find anything because you didn't pick up Zach. You didn't pick up anybody else. And again, Zach is, look at that. I mean, he used Photon Projector in that last fight. He's already up to 66%, whereas Big J5 just got his first Dragon Strike. I shouldn't say first Dragon Strike. Maybe he had another one that I didn't see. But ultimates-wise, Bethel's going to have all 6 in this next fight. Snider just switched on over from the Roadhog to the Roadhog here. So, I mean, oh boy, I don't know about this one.
There's the sound barrier going to negate out any damage they took from the hook and more. Quibsy stuck in the middle for just a second. Now getting back the rest. Big shatter as Jabbo once again pays for his aggression. A little bit of presence on point, but I don't believe that this is going to be a Snider high school that is going to be able to get anything more than that. Yeah, forced to come back at this. Oh, and I've been this Roadhog before as well, you know, like getting the hook and then very last little bit. And then it comes out from the right side. Quipsy lands that perfectly. To borrow one from a man Hanzo is just simple geometry.
Yeah, I mean, you see the decision-making there. He had 2 targets to charge, whether or not he wanted to charge the Ana or whether or not he wanted to charge the Roadhog. Makes the right pick, goes for the Roadhog, and that automatically forces him back because anybody else can take care of the Ana. That's the easy part.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
40 seconds left to go on the clock. Snider's going to have 2 ultimates. Bethel did invest a lot of ults, though, so they're only going to have the application matrix coming in. Snider's going to have a duplicate and a 7th bat. There's nothing to sleep it, so Snider could come in with a win.
Ooh. A single hit through an amplification matrix is going to be more than enough for Zach to get a one-tap kill on this one. So far, only real loss for the side of Bethel. Getting super low is Momo and Big J5. There's the Bob out as well, utilizing Eat to get there and try to get back, and instead shoots away at a bot that's going to be gone in 2 or 3 seconds. Doesn't matter. Snider lost out the time on this one. Blizzard World, big boop, no touch, no touch. I gotta give the shout outs to the Lucios with the boops, man. I've been here before. I've been this Lucio, like quite literally saved a game like that. I mean, I shouldn't say like that. Who knows if this offending squad would have been able to get back in, but I can guarantee they would have had time to touch if that ball had actually touched and he hadn't used the sonar ball, lunar. I can't remember. What is the name of Lucio's boop? Like the technical name? I say boop.
Soundwave.
Soundwave. Sonic Wave. There you go. So thinking Sonic Blast for a second, but yeah. This one just come down to a much more methodical Blizzard World. You referenced a few things there, and I think I'd have to agree with you, Clutch Key.
Yeah, I mean, overall, again, there was just different points. We go back to the very first one, right? Blizzard World, I talked about it. You got to get, right? It's the longest distance between that spawn room and the control point. All you have to do is rush in, and it worked out perfectly for them, at least in the second fight, where they rushed in, they got the picks that they needed, they rotated correctly all around, they just surrounded them, pinched them in, and that's what you need to do. In that sort of system where if one person dies, then the rest of the team starts to fall. It's not like the other bunker compositions with a big shield or whatnot that if one person dies, you can still set up to win if you use an ultimate or two. But for that case, they rushed right in and they got what they needed to done. So they got all 3 points with that same composition. Go on over to when Snider was on the attacking side. Zach on this Symmetra was such a big threat to them, and again, they just did not take care of him. It was just too much to handle. And I will keep saying it because I know it's a meme, but it's true because Symmetra does go burr. I mean, as long as you keep Symmetra on the floor and as long as Symmetra is hitting anything, then that laser just gets more damage, and unless you can kill the Symmetra early on, you're not going to find success, and they weren't finding any success whatsoever. They could change all they want. They could change in the Roadhog or whatever, but even at the end right there, right, that application matrix at the end, it was way too late. They already lost somebody on that fight. Plus, they didn't push in past the application matrix. It was way too late for them to try something. As soon as that app matrix comes up, you got to push forward. I mean, yes, you either have to respect it or respect that window, which they didn't try to do, or you got to push in way past it, and it just didn't happen. So, yeah, I think for overall, I mean, Bethel's got a really good lineup for them. But now it's Snider's turn, and the best thing about being up 1-0 is that even if you were to force map number 3 here, which is, again, best 2 out of 3, first to 2, I should say, or rather, now it's going to be a best of 3 because Escort you cannot tie, but you've got a pick for Bethel coming, or not Bethel, you got a pick for Snider coming up here on their Escort map, and like I was saying, they had a good performance back on Watch Point in Gibraltar on their Escort map. That was against Ball State. Maybe we see that one, but that also plays in the, I mean, if you're Bethel right now, that also plays in their hands just because of the whole dive composition that they had going on earlier, the rush composition that they had going. That might play into their hands. So if you're Snider, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Route 66 comes into play. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what they pick here, and it will be Rialto, and this is not a bad pick for them at all. I think Snider picked a good map here. I think it was going to be either between Route 66 or Rialto, but I think Rialto works out for them perfectly because we saw Bethel bring up the Echo and all of that. So the flying composition here, Rialto still has that possibility, but it's a little more enclosed in kind of the streets phase area.
Yeah, I can agree. Yeah, Nah, I do love Rialto. And especially for this escort map, I cannot imagine that the choice here is not going to have an influence on the overall game. If I'm like one of these two teams, I definitely want to be in Snider's position right now, like at the tied up to 1-1. Basically just playing one single map at this point because now they come in and of course get the pick on the map. Now winner will pick sides, so winner will pick winner. That being did I have that right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so Snider, so
yeah.
Bethel's going to be able to pick their side, and if I'm Bethel right now, I'm picking defensive side. If Bethel's picking defensive side, that gives them a little more insight as to what Snider's going to pick. Either that, or if Bethel is confident, they're going to pick this attacking side. The confidence. I mean, if I would be confident after a 3-0 after that quick turnaround from what was map number 1 on Busan. So let's see what they do pick here. But I'm thinking they pick a defensive side. Normally, most teams would.
Yeah, just simply like to go forth and kind of purchase yourself a little bit of breathing room, at least a round or two that you can go forth and judge the other team and how they're going to be playing on this. Also, Snider has had the tank core subbed in and out throughout these rounds, so that's where my kind of focus will be going as well. Space Marine and Momo back in for Bethel. Bethel was the one subbing their tanks out. Sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, Space Marine and Momo on the defensive side again. Bethel picking a good side. You're going to have that defensive side coming up for them, and Space Marine and Momo on the Reinhardt Diva. Kind of common here on Rialto. So, and you like that because Snider's also going to pick there. But if this does stick here, Bethel's going to be in such a good position because you're going to have a sleep dart available and you're going to have a flashbang available to take down AJ Mac and Cheese. So I mean, maybe the Doomfist is an okay pick here, but it's got to find something in the back. That's all it really is. You don't want to try to take the tanks on one-on-one because you're going to have so many people on you from the very get-go. If this Doomfist picks up something in the back, that's your win for Snider on their push.
Rotations around from Big J5. I like taking that from that side in a catwalk area. No boops coming in quite yet. Getting answered from Pop, and he barely gets there. Now looking like Snider trying to rotate a little bit around. And also what we have... Yeah, so Brandon going from the healer to the DPS. Zach going from DPS to healer. Snider getting a little bit of progress so far. Jabo really having his work cut out for him here in the front. This shield will be no more soon. Low amounts of healing. Big J5 taken out in the back. Snider looking pretty good on the offense so far. Forcing corner now, and members of Bethel forced to come back a little bit, stunning more. The Rhine on Rhine up here at the front on payload. And that's going to be Quantrell coming through, getting a lot of more effect on the Hanzo. There you go. Sorry, my thing kind of crashed for a second.
Yeah, I mean, the fight is still going. I mean, this is impressive, but that Earth Shatter in the Bionane kind of makes this better, and they have a nano boosted Diva now, which I mean, this might work out for them, but it's like now ultimates are just being thrown all over the place.
Yeah, there's just an absolute ultimate festival right now. Momo comes back into mech, and I understand wanting to hold this for Bethel, but at a certain point you have to realize when you're feeding ultimates.
Yeah, it was feeding ultimates at that point, but I mean, you had yourself a good fight. Oh my god. Well, he knew it from the radar arrow too, but good shot overall. But Snider's going to be able to get this point, I believe. I mean, you would like to think so, unless they want to try to hold this, and another good shatter.
Okay, so hey, at least they're making the defense waste out the ultimates they got earlier. Not a bad play at all either. Big J5 over on the Soldier 76 now, trying to get away from it. That's Zach, classic Doomfist on Ana, but hey, okay, so I spoke too soon here. I'll go ahead and admit that one, Clutchkey. That is the defense that just burned about 40 seconds, and some of the ultimates of the offenders off.
Yeah, I mean, but there's still plenty of time on this clock. There's still about 4 minutes left to go, and Snider, and that's a big pick right there. Brandon going down. I mean, Brandon switching on over from support to DPS. Zach going the other way around and vice versa. But I mean, you have yourselves a good start for them so far. And ultimate build-up right now, Snider's got everything going for them.
Can't quite get away from his pop-up and getting a lot of damage in edgewise from up top. Snider hitting corner, now getting stopped. There's the boop. There's the tri-rockets from Big J5. And looks like Bethel might have, yeah, there you go. There's the stop that Bethel has been looking for so far on the altar.
Yeah, but here's the thing with that. I don't know if I would have invested the nano boost there just because that fight was won already. You had 2-3 picks already landed up on the side of Bethel. I don't know if I would have used that nano boost because now you're relying on a self-destruct attack visor maybe, but still with a shield or a Doomfist that could go right around it as well. So, I mean, this is it's going to be interesting as well because Eyelid now has a nano boost that he can either use on the Doomfist or the Reinhardt, maybe a D.Va in desperation moments, but I would say right now, I mean, it's looking good for Snider at the very least.
And then with it, now got the self-destruct as well. Pop. Maybe trying to lob that one a little bit more. You get this in a solid corner and get this Reinhardt down. That'd be it for a little self-destruct action up the top, up and down. I think that's gonna get blocked off because it did not touch corners. So once again, Snider burning a ultimate here just for Bethel to take everything in a bag of chips. The attack visor was invested, but hey, that's only one on a team fight, right?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have to invest anything else. I mean, look at what Bethel did, right? Good discipline to hold on. They really only needed the attack visor because they won everything else. Now Pop is going to switch on over from the D.Va to the Zarya, a little more of a brawl composition, which, I mean, is good, but somebody's still got to force upstairs because if they keep playing the second floor, this soldier is going to have so much win conditions here because it's just easy for him.
That's a pretty solid purple, and now followed up with a Momo self-destruct right immediately afterwards. As we see, Momo on a little bit of a streak himself right there. The sound barrier invested as well. Okay, Clutch, we wouldn't be doing our jobs as commentators if we did not point out things we saw were going awry here. A boop and a fall afterwards from Quibsy as well, so 2 right there. But I gotta say, yeah, the ultimate's invested. Not sure if the sound barrier is worth it. At the very least, Snider was beat. You could have come back and just relied on respawns.
I want to point out one thing. I don't think I've seen this I don't think I've seen this ever on this kill feed before. The self-destruct actually knocked off the Hanzo. So it counted as an environmental kill. That's what happened there.
There's a first round. I was a little bit confused as well, and I just assumed the UI was messed up. That's a perfect call right there, Clutch. I appreciate it. A lot of back and forth right here. Nobody really winning this team fight quite yet. Bethel's got the numbers right now, but that's a supercharged and then just yeeted. Sorry, Yakester on the Lucio joining his teammate right there on the reset. And I believe AJ doing, kind of having the same thinking right there.
Yeah, and this clock is going to go down into overtime no matter what happens at this point because that card is way too far out. But if you're Snider right now, your best opportunity is right here. You've got more ultimates built up at the very least. You have a nano boost. You have a meteor strike to use. Bethel's only going to have attack visor if that. Maybe a self-destruct if they build that up fast, if they deny the D.Va anything. But, oh boy, that's not going to help you out.
Lunchroll starting this. Here comes the attack visor. Mostly blocked out for right now. Team, just wait it out. Smart stuff. Joined, and that Doomfist is going to get their initial damage from the ultimate, followed up. Nice, easy little shot punch. Back to it. Bethel University dropping 2. Not giving this one up quite yet. Like you said, we'll be going into overtime no matter what.
Yeah, clock goes into overtime. They have to back off already. I mean, they're just waiting for their soldier to come back, and that was big for them. The attack visor got wasted.
Self-destruct, okay. Everybody getting away from that one. Smart moves. Just the awareness right here. Sound barrier landing after the purple onto Space Marine as the Reinhardt. Quibsy falling. Little Lucio on Lucio action there as Yakester getting damage in with his Reinhardt. Jabo just getting up close and personal. Super aggressive. Bethel getting deleted for right now. Turning tail and fire striking out. There's in the middle, and no swings for Jabo. No swings needed really though. That's a cleanup, and now this is extra time.
It's not extra point because they actually captured that while everything was going on, so they got them extra 90 seconds on the clock. That's big because now you can push up, and now Bethel, I mean, now you have Big J5, yes, on the soldier, but he has less places to rotate now. Instead of being on that second floor, it can go on the lower floor. Now he's only got one floor to really play on it, maybe except for that bridge if he decides to hold up on there. But now you're giving Big J5 less space to work with. This might work out for them.
Wow, okay, just like that, answered by the Doomfist again, and just chased down, trounced, embarrassed, and sent back to spawn to think about his mistakes. Sound barrier landing, Snider getting all over on this, and Quibsy is going to want that one back, Clutch Key.
No, I mean, yeah, Quibsy's definitely going to... I don't think he wants it back, but I mean, he used it to... he didn't really get anybody else. I think the only thing he got was maybe the Ana and maybe himself, but that's about it. I mean, really, it wasn't safe for the team. So now Snider's now got no ultimates. Now Bethel's going to pull out attack visor. Will it come for anything? No, it won't. It's a waste.
Wow. Big J5 has just been shut down the past 90 seconds or so, Clutch Key. Ultimates and being chased down by AJ Mac and Cheese on the Doomfist.
Oh, that's huge.
Sad breaks for DPS. Here comes the Ultimate in the back. AJ Mac and Cheese sniffed out on that one. Forced out. No advantage for you. Not on this Doomfist ultimate, my friend. Time now. Overtime here. Pop getting aggressive. Big J5 forced back again. Goes off, runs a small health back. That's it. No touch. Halftime. Got a touch. There it is. Jabo getting super low, but Momo on the 2 is not going to be enough. That is about as close as you get on offensively as possible. Clutch key.
Yeah, that's super close for them. I mean, on the side of Snider, I mean, it's not a bad attack overall. Snider did what they needed to do. It's just that 1 point on or in the middle of the second point, I should say, going from 1 to 2. That middle area where they just wasted about 3 minutes off that clock was big for Bethel, because now Bethel's got themselves a way to win this out. It's basically get the cart to the 3 points on that golden box of victory towards the end. That's really all you need here. What Snider did well, though, is, I mean, when AJ Mac and Cheese had themselves a good pickoff, towards the end there, you saw that Doomfist die early on. It makes it a 65, really hard to win anything out there, especially in home stretch situation, whereas if you lose one person, it's hard for them to come back because you really have no time on the clock. You got to rush everything out. So Snider did themselves a good job getting 2 points, getting 85.46 meters. They did what they could, and I mean, that's all you can ask for them, because with their composition, it really is, can you win out like the upper ground fight? And that's what they did on the second point, at the very least, towards the end. But I mean, Bethel was, they just wasted too much time off that clock. Bethel did a great job there. So now Bethel on the attacking side. Snider's going to come out on this defensively, and is this going to be a Bastion?
Yeah, I'm looking at this, and all of these picks are good picks. These individuals have had effect on so far, except of course the Bastion. And I'm just looking for a central theme, I guess, is what I'm saying. Like, it makes sense, obviously, protect the Bastion. It's a huge source of damage in the turret mode. Eyelid going to be damage boosting that, and the main support outside of that to take care of the other players. But outside of that, especially staring on the barrel of a hit scan and a Brandon Widowmaker, we've seen what this 2 can do. I'm very interested to see where this is going to go. Taking the right post, the spray and damage, only show a little bit of themselves, and having Pop back on the Zarya for projected barriers, and that's not going to be enough. Big J5 on the flank all day in the back line and finding value from it, my friend. Faces down another one and gets the coordinated kill onto support number 1. There's support number 2. There's main tank, and there's tank 1, and now tank 2. Bethel taking first point much easier than Snider did.
Yeah, and that's because of Big J5. Well, we saw Big J5, right? I mean, he was in the back line. Now, how did he get over there? From the very get-go, nobody was paying attention to him. He ran towards the left from the starting room, and I don't know if they're going to contest this, because this is way too close for them. They're not giving him any room. They're giving him way too much room, I should say. And yeah, I mean, that's not what you want there. It was one fight on very first point. You want to maybe give at least 2 fights, but it's not going to happen.
No, it is not. Little boop action against a ball as well. Not something going to happen every day. Bethel coming into this one with an advantage already. 5 minutes 10. Quibsy following in the back after dedicating his time into taking out that hamster player. That wrecking ball. Quantrell trying to harness his inner Big J5 and hit the flank hard with a shield Reinhardt-wise in front of him. Not going to happen so easily. There's the nano boost. There's another nano boost. Back and forth through it. There's a shot that has landed. Now down the middle, coming and hitting on the Mercy on the way out as well. Just 1 to go after Space Marine takes out this Anna up top. Quipsy back in the thick of things. There's a sound barrier getting everybody except for the DPSs. And a shatter isn't going to matter. Jabo actually landing that one in the middle of the sound barrier is going to keep everybody alive. Might get stunned. Doesn't matter. Now it's Big J5 on the redemption arc right here, trying to find that Doomfist. Not going to happen.
Yeah, I think right now what Bethel's doing so well is because they're utilizing the soldier really well, and we saw the Reinhardts kind of clash into each other, but I really don't know if this Doomfist is working. In my opinion, they need to switch off of this, because right now this Doomfist, I mean, is getting caught out so much. There's too much rotation, and if Big J5, or rather not Big J5, excuse me, yeah, Big J5, if he rotates out and he gets around them, it's really not going to work in their favor because they've got no protection otherwise.
Okay, well, it works right there. We'll give them that, but past, 2 minutes or so, 100% agree with you. We just use the past to predict the future as best we can here, folks. Another takeout by AJ Mac and Cheese. That is towards the end of this team fight, but still, it's time to bring this ultimate shouting down from the skies, maybe change on over to something else. Quibsy getting sniffed out right here, nothing to be done. The Extra getting the finishing blow on that one. Offense not on top of this. Not 100% necessary quite yet. They got plenty of time, way more time than the other team did coming into this one, at least so far. Main tank down, and then again, a very early investment of a nano boost. AJ Mac and Cheese right now winning the DPS fight right there. Was able to keep it through. What a charge! Read that one like a book. This Wrecking Ball trying to get out. Not gonna happen today, my friend. Space Marine has got your name. Swing away, up in the front, switching attention on the Mercy. Smart moves. Quibsy actually coming through with this one as Brandon forces everybody back. And that is just outside that point, literally just outside, about 6 meters away. Joining the fight now is Pop-Up on the Wrecking Ball, turning attention to the back, and I can tell you which one's gonna win. It's one tack visor, one very angry Doomfist.
Yeah, and by the way, on that charge from Reinhardt, he wasn't even going for the Wrecking Ball. The Wrecking Ball just happened to land on his lap. Like, not even joking. He just landed right in front of him. And he was going for the charge on the Reinhardt. That's what that was, but the Wrecking Ball ended up in front instead.
Okay.
So it really just, I mean, 3 minutes
So
and
who
45.
won that, right?
Yeah, I mean, who won that fight overall? But I mean, Bethel does get the extra 90 on the clock. And they got plenty of time to push this up. Again, now maybe the Doomfist gets a little bit better because now you're in a little more enclosed space, but I still don't know about it. Oh, and maybe that helps.
Maybe we'll just focus on the AJ Mac and Cheese Big J5 back and forth. There's a huge shatter, purple and more. Not gonna matter. Snider coming out on top of this one right now. Quibsy forced to get all the way out and away. Eyelid taking a lot of damage, and Momo kind of keeping focus in the middle of things. This is still a team fight. Excuse me. We had a Tictus defense winning a minute ago. Momo finding one as well. Main tank down. There goes the Diva Mech as well. Bethel all over this one. Now rolling in. 3 minutes to go, Clutchkey.
Yeah, and another thing there too is Momo uses the self-destruct to get out, but dies right away immediately. You don't have a self-destruct anymore to come out.
Not one, but both DPS deleted on the doorstep of Death, Doom, and Delirious Destruction is Snider with Bethel rotating in. A lone Ana and a nano-boosted Diva. The only thing sticking in between. Now out, that looks like a change. Quantrell switching, yes. Self-destruct, Brandon getting taken out by this one. Somehow there's a shatter in the middle, followed up with a purple as well. Members back, there's the Reinhardt swarming out, and that should be it. There's a huge shatter! Oh my god, and that's not gonna be enough. Just enough to get this play-by-play commentator very, very excited. But that's not going to be enough because no other players are there after he does fall. He lands that shatter, I'm going to say a third of a second earlier. Players would be down, he'd be able to get a little bit of damage in and maybe even have teammates join him. But that is not the reality that you and I are living in right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, overall good game there, especially Bethel had so much time left on that clock. I mean, they had so much time left on that clock. Even if they were to lose that fight, they could have fought maybe 1 or 2 more times. But it worked out well for them because, I mean, they just pushed in. You said it too yourself, right? It looked like that Snider was going to win that defensive battle. All of a sudden, Bethel flips it on over, and this is not a rush comp you saw on either side. Like I was saying, in a rush composition or in the dive composition, if one person goes down, the rest of the team falls. Whereas in a composition like that, that's a little more brawl, that's a little more in-your-face style, if one person falls, anybody else could make a difference on that play, especially when you have that soldier that had attack visor, especially when you have a soldier rotating like that. Big J5 made the biggest difference in that game because he could rotate up on the second floor, down to the bottom, and the Doomfist, yes, got picks here and there, and that's where they won their fights, but how many of those did he get? Not as many as you'd like because, yes, he's aiming for the backline, but you want to aim for the supports, if anything, too. And even if you take down if you take down the supports, and even if you lose to the soldier, the supports are gone. You've got to push to win. So it just didn't work out for them like that, and so Bethel wins overall just based on that. If Snider had moved on over, let's say, to maybe a Cowboy, maybe to an Echo of some sort, even though they have a soldier, maybe if they changed it up a little bit, I don't think Doomfist was the pick there, but Bethel coming in overall, a great match from them. And actually a great match from both sides, I should say, because Bethel did not win map number 1. We did play 3 maps. Snider did win map number 1, which was on Busan. So a good.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, it was a 2-1 in favor. Bethel won Blizzard World 3-0. Real to 3-2. So I mean, overall, not a bad game from Snider at all. But it was just Bethel in the last 2 maps finally figuring it out that we just need to get in their faces. We just need to rotate. That's where the soldier comes in big. That's where basically their rush composition came in big on Blizzard World. We also with the soldier rotating out what they needed, and it worked out fine for them.
Yeah, eventually it definitely did. And there were multiple times the kind of individual performances, literally all 12 players across these two teams. We kind of came through and literally just like single-handedly flipped team fights back and forth. Fantastic performance, fantastic competition all the way through here at the CENC Midwest Invitational Showcase. Shout out to Bethel University coming out in the 2-1 fashion and continuing their role, right? They just beat, was that Ball State in the third place, land placements there, now coming through 2-1 against a Snider squad that obviously just, they caught a little bit more flack beating. But regardless, shout out to them, a high school team coming through here, playing online as well. So who knows if they're actually playing next to each other, which sometimes does help for team compositions and whatnot.
And Snider too as well. I want to point this out. Snider's a high school team. They took a map off of Bethel, which was the third place here in the CENC Invitational, Midwest Invitational, I should say. So they took a map off the third place team, and that's especially hard to do, especially the way they played. Maybe control's not their strongest point for Bethel, but again, Snider did take a map off of them. So just like when we saw Rocket League, Snider was a really good team in Rocket League. To the Overwatch side, they showed their highlights, they showed their high points. So maybe in the future, when they get to the upper ranks of college, maybe we see more of them coming up.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if this is the last we see of these high school players on Snider, especially after what we see today, what they were able to do against a university squad that's hot to trot, coming off a third place land, and all playing all together, like literally in the same place. So at the absolute least, communications would be easier and to be on the same ping care indeed with quality equipment. So that's really just like a lot of factors for this university squad that on paper says that a high school team wouldn't even have a chance. That is not the reality that we're living in once again. But with that, I do believe we may have reached my least favorite part of any broadcast, Clutch Key. Of course, is the end. You never
you hate to see it. You hate to see it.
It's a guarantee for every broadcast there is an end. We'll take a philosophical, Clutch Key. So shout out to CSMG as well as the HSEL, the High School Esports League, for kind of helping to set this one up, as well as to EMP Live Designs. All of your broadcast needs can be met, exceeded, and satisfied with EMP Live Designs. We want to give a shout out to Colton, Scoots, and KTAD, members involved in helping with production side right here, because again, without you guys, we're just cute faces, nice voices.
I mean, thanks to them again, and what they do is great. I've known them for a while, so shout out to, again, the guys, Cool Scoots, Colton 2000, and K-Tad. Shout out to them. So yeah, and to you, my friend, thank you very much for the very lovely commentary, as well as the very lovely mustache I always love seeing.
Right back at you, minus the mustache part. Clutchkey. Appreciate you guys. Tune in next time for some more CENC action. Shout out to Bethel for doing what they did online against Snider and in their LAN performances here today for third place. Go out and give them a shout out on Twitter or whatever else like that. You can find me at FBI_Tugboat. You can find other side, Clutch Key down over there.
There you go.
At Clutch Key GG. No dashes, no spaces, no underscores, nothing. He's a man of simplicity. I love it. We're going to go ahead and get you guys out of here. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. We'll catch you next time.